Ladies and gents, girls, boys, how are you doing today? Hope all is well. It's Danny Stewart from BaseJapanDirect.com here in very hot, humid Tokyo again. It's still bloody stifling at 33 degrees today in almost mid-September. Anyway, today what I want to do is a comparison video between two high-end jazz basses, one from Moon and one from Combat. And this is an excuse for me to use my brand new volume pedal. That one of my subscribers kindly suggested I should get a volume pedal to so when I'm comparing basses, I don't have to unplug and plug in again and make a big noise and annoy everybody. So thank you for that. I finally did it, and let's check out these instruments. So they are both the same price range, around 400,000 Japanese yen or a smidgen more. Manufacturer recommended retail price, and they're similar materials. So here we have a Moon. This is a DJB custom. Usually it would have humbuckers, but this one has 575 jazz pickups, which Oxalis 575s, and an older body, and that has an ash body with Combat custom Alnico pickups, and this has the Bartolini XT-CT preamp, and that has dark glass. So both have ebony fretboards. This is Makassar ebony, that one is African ebony, I believe. Anyway, let's start off balanced with everything dialed up. So that's everything dialed up, and it sounds pretty much ideal from a slap perspective. The playability is perfect. Lovely 1.5mm action at the moment. That's what I've set them up to. And balanced on this one. Again, everything dialed up. Wow, that's really strong in the mids. It's too much mids. Yeah. So if I scoop it though, now that's an ideal slap tone. It is a bit. Yeah, that's beautiful. But you have to scoop it. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. So that's a dark glass preamp, by the way. And the pickups on this are 60s position, but I would say they're both 60s position, but I would say that the rear pickup is just marginally closer to the bridge than on the Moon. So if we are to scoop the mids on the Moon, what do we get, I wonder? So I'm going to scoop the mids there. Yeah, that's a little bit, it's very, very caustic. And that's with the master tone all the way up though. Oh, the master tone's here. I'm sorry, that's master tone. Let's take that down a bit. very nice with everything dialed up, just ideal. Simple. Plug it in, dial everything up, and play. Next, I'd like to go on to just check out the rear pickup. So yeah, again, the woods are slightly different. This is an ash body, so it's a little bit heavier than the Alder over here. This is about, I think it's 4.4 kilograms, something like that, and this is 4.2. So let's pan it to the rear, and I'll just put everything up to start with. Wow. That's gorgeous. Let's take the master tone down. Let's take the treble down. Sorry, that's bass. Treble's here. It's the other way round to the moon. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is a gorgeous rear pickup tone. Then in passive mode, by comparison. So that's got an active passive switch there. That's an ideal rear pickup tone. It doesn't even sound like a 60s, that sounds like a 70s rear pickup to me. It's got that quack and cream. Let's see what we got on this. See how this compares. So rear pickup, I'm going to have the master tone. We'll have everything dialed up to start with. So this is a lot more, ow, my finger hurts, I sliced it yesterday at the end there. Yeah, it sounds more transparent, doesn't it? Whereas the Combat sounds more opaque, which I actually prefer. However, let's take the master tone down. That's nice, and let's take the treble. Where's the treble again? There. Let's take the treble out. Well, that's nice. It's nice as well, but I think I prefer the Combat's rear pickup tone for sure, but this is very nice. Slightly more distance between the bass plate and the rear pickup there, admittedly. That might have something to do with this being a little bit more conservative. All right, it's good though, very nice. Let's go on to the front pickup with everything dialed up. So that's everything dialed up. Let's take the treble down, and let's see how fuggy we can get with this. Let's take the master tone down. Yeah, so hey, it's nice and fuggy. Great B string as well on this. So yeah, it's a nice sort of fuggy sound. And once more, dialed up everything. Yeah, it's got a nice, it's got some throatiness. You've got depth, but you've got a lot of clarity. Um, that's a really good front pickup sound. Let's just have a listen by contrast to our buddy over here, the Combat, and so front pickup. This is a balancer. Master tone up, everything up. Yeah. So this sounds a bit more mealy. It's not quite as deep or throaty, but it's got some growl. Yeah. I like it, but maybe not as much as I like the Moon in terms of front pickup tone. Let's just have a listen now with the treble cut and the master tone all the way down. So yeah, what I'm hearing here is nice and fuggy. But it's also slightly nasal in character. I mean, I like it, but I think I prefer the Moon for a front pickup tone. So yeah, I think the only thing that we have to test out now is just sustain. So I'm just going to play an A major chord. And then maybe this crazy E major chord. So that's as bright as the sound's going to get as well with everything turned up. Let's take the treble down just a touch. Take the edge off a little bit. Let's play that chord and see how long everything lasts. So yeah, of course, with the higher notes, usually your sustain is going to be, because the string is shorter, it's not going to vibrate for as long as an open string, of course. but you can hear there it's quite ample. It's very good. Let's check it out on the moon. Everything dialed up. It's your A major. And go to that E. So that top note there is shorter than it was on the. That's a D sharp, by the way. Shorter than it was on the Combat. Yeah. But one thing I notice about this instrument is it's generally a little bit more transparent in sound than it is than the Combat, which is a bit more opaque. So I'm going to say that the Combat wins out a little bit on the sustain, but I mean, I can't really choose one over the other. I think for me personally, I would use the Combat more than I would the Moon, mainly because of the rear pickup sound. I mainly play balanced and rear pickup when I play live. I'm not really in what I do. I'm not really using just the front pickup. I do think the Moon has a better front pickup tone though, and I think the Moon would be probably better for a wide variety of recording applications than the Combat would be. But I prefer the character of the Combat rear pickup, and I love the scoop sound when it's balanced as well. So that's cool. It's down to your taste, really, isn't it? In terms of build quality, though, they're both exactly as good as each other, which is to say they're top notch. The materials, the fretwork, everything is just as good. The playability is just as good on either of them. They both play really smoothly. I think the Combat has nicer tuning pegs. It's got the Hipshot ultralights, and it's got the Hipshot string retainer there as well, which I think is maybe a nicer string retainer than this simple disc type. The tuning pegs on the Moon are the Gotoh GB11Ws, which I mean, I think they're just as good as the Hipshots. They're a little bit heavier though. However, I mean, overall, this Moon is a lighter bass. This is 4.2 kilograms, and that's 4.4, which is, you know, it's moderate for a 5-string, not bad at all. I think I prefer the Moon, the bridge on the Moon in terms of hardware. I prefer that 404B05 to the 203B5 on the Combat. Although that is a bridge that you know, Bosso was using these bridges for quite a while, and they do the job. It's a brass plate as well. It's just not quite as substantial. I'm surprised, actually. I thought that the sustain would be better because it's got more of a substantial bridge, but I think it's probably more to do with body weight and density than anything else. I don't think it's really got to do with the neck build as to why the Combat has more sustain than the Moon, slightly. I think it's a body density thing. So this older body, we selected a light one because the customer doesn't want it to be over 4.3 kilograms. It's actually it's just under 4.2. So it's you know, well within the parameters that were set. So that'll do it, guys. I would recommend, if you want something really, really special and you want flexibility, Combat are your builders. Combat or Sago, they will do anything. Sure, the prices are roughly the same as Moon. Build time is roughly the same as Moon as well. You're talking about 8 months on average for something like this. And of course, you can select colors. You can select. You can even select the type of pickups. You can select the whether you want a dial plate or if you want it like this Moon, where it's arranged in a little arc there. Very comfortable, actually. That is very comfortable. It's more comfortable than the Combat, where the controls are a little bit close together. But yeah, and you can choose hardware as well, of course. You know, it's all subject to upcharges and whatnot, depending on what you opt for. So that'll do it, guys. If you're interested in either brand, do follow the links below to my pages on my website. If you want to get a free quote or put an order in, it can be arranged. Please be warned, though, Moon right now are so busy that they are relegating everything to standard spec. You have to order standard spec now. You might be able to change hardware color, but in terms of pickup placement and stuff like that, they're not catering to that anymore. You just have to go with standard. It's because they're so busy doing other OEM stuff. Whereas Combat, they're much more open, they're flexible, they're not such a large operation, and you know, they keep themselves busy with you know, I would say a moderate amount of customers in comparison, but nonetheless they've kept themselves busy since the 1990s. They're doing very well. They're absolutely fine, and one of the greatest, you know, they're fantastic builders. All the builders in Japan are fantastic, actually, because they all support each other. Actually, Combat, for example, have helped with overflow from other makers before. You know, like if other makers get too many orders to fulfill, they can't quite keep up. It's like, oh, can you make some necks for us? Oh, can you finish these bodies for us? Oh, blah blah blah. You know, so they'll share work together, and this is why I find like there's a real consistency, even not just from within one brand, but among makers. There's a consistency in build standard and the quality of finish, fit finish, fretwork, and everything. They just have high standards across the board. So that's fantastic to see, and it's also nice that they're not cutthroat competitors. You know, they support each other. Anyway, guys, I won't ramble on anymore, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. If not, give it a thumbs down and let me know why. And I hope you found the volume pedal to be more agreeable than listening to sudden pops and snarls from live cables. So once again, appreciation to my subscriber for suggesting that. I'm very glad that I took up their suggestion. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you again soon for the next Naked Sound review. Cheers.